Hello everyone. It's that time of year again. That Yuletide joy that is the game of the year. Come along with me. Enjoy this ride. I think that went well.
Yeah, no, I really liked it.
Here's my top 5 list for game of the year. Let's start with number 5. I wanted to start the list with Horizon Zero Dawn. You would be easily forgiven if you missed out on this game because it came out at a time when everything was releasing and it got consumed by Zelda, but this was a fantastic open world game. I'm not a crazy huge fan of open world games. The concept of them is like kind of slowly blended together for me, but Horizon did story just really well, and it had an awesome universe and great characters and freaking robot dinosaurs, man. Are you kidding me? Lots of good praise for Horizon. It was a fantastic game, and it's probably the best PS4 exclusive you could play right now. I highly recommend it. Number 4 is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Now, this is a very difficult game for me to list here because this game wasn't fun, really. I actually had to take a break from the tension that you could feel from playing this game, but it's incredibly well done. Its mission it set out to do, it achieved tenfold. This is a game that has a very serious statement about mental illness, psychosis specifically, and it's dark, it's borderline traumatizing, it's wonderfully done, and very well acted. This is a game I almost can't recommend most people play, but at the same time I think everybody should experience it one time. I don't think I would ever play this game again, but I'm very grateful that I did once. It's an experience I will never forget. It is what games are about. A kind of story you can't get anywhere else other than games, and it's an experience, and you travel and you participate in this experience. And I'm really glad we exist in a space where games like Hellblade can exist. So, number 3, Super Mario Odyssey. This game kind of came and went in a lot of ways because it was on a very packed release day. Mario Odyssey is just everything you love about these open Mario games, but condensed in this awesome portable version. And the amount of just dopamine triggers you're gonna get from all these moons that you're unlocking at like every minute or two. It's so fast paced and it's so much fun. It's so beautiful and it's so fun and whimsical, and it's such a great adventure, and probably the best Mario's ever played and ever will play. It's hard telling, but Nintendo has made a great, very special creation here, and it's unbelievable that we got this in the same year as a game like Zelda, as well as other great Nintendo games that have released this year. Mario is very special, quintessential for anybody who wants a platformer, especially on the go. It's perfect for playing on the go. Highly recommend. I can't say enough good things about Mario Odyssey. The only thing I would say negative towards this experience was it felt a little too short. I was pretty much done with everything there is to do in about 2 weeks. But for somebody who plays games on the go and you want to pick it up, play for 20 minutes, perfect for that. I mean, it is absolutely perfect for that experience. I cannot recommend this game enough for any Switch owner. Number 2 is actually Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, this is probably going to be on most people's list for Game of the Year, but what came down to my final decision was a difference between gameplay and story. And I play games for the story, but Breath of the Wild is one of the most special games I have ever had the privilege of playing. It is genuinely the best open world game I've ever put my hands on. It is a unique experience. It is dazzling, and it constantly seeks your attention, and it's always alluring you to any side of the map, and there's something to do, there's something new to discover at every single corner, and it's fascinating. It's just a joy to unlock a puzzle, and that little ding, that little tune that goes off in the background. It was so magical, and Nintendo has outdone themselves, and I'm very excited that there are going to be more open world games like Zelda in the future, because Breath of the Wild is a game that demands your attention for good reason. There's a reason why you cannot escape the fact that it's everybody's game of the year, because it is almost unparalleled in terms of its design, its core gameplay, its elements. It is one of the closest things to a perfect game I've ever played, and that's really saying something. Now, I wanted to give a few honorable mentions because this year was a fantastic year for games and there are a lot of things that flew under the radar. First and foremost, I wanted to talk about Prey. Prey was very, very close to being on my Game of the Year list, but there was just so much stuff that had to be mentioned. I had to rule it out, but it's one of my favorite first-person shooters I've played in many, many years. The only reasons why it fell short for me was the story didn't deliver as much as I wanted it to, and it's kind of wonky at times, the design. The combat can be kind of poor in a lot of locations, but Prey did creature design very, very well. And it did world building very, very well. This space station was somewhere I was immensely interested in, and I wanted to keep finding out more things about it. I couldn't wait to find another audio log or document to read more into this alternate view of history. A very special game and a strong statement for single player only games in a year where people are questioning the merit of single player versus multiplayer. It makes a bold statement in that regard. Lots of content there. I also want to give a shout out to Splatoon 2. Nintendo is not really known for their online experiences, but Splatoon was actually probably my favorite multiplayer game of the year outside of the Battle Royale games. I just kept coming back to Splatoon. That gameplay was so much fun. There's a lot of customization there. Great to play on the go. I couldn't get enough of it. Mass Effect Andromeda, a lot of people hated on this game. It's a great game. It's just not an amazing Mass Effect game. It disappointed a lot of people, but there's a lot to do here. This is a huge, huge package and great characters, beautiful settings. All the worlds felt very unique. The combat was awesome. Obviously, it had its very fair share of issues, and I could see why the gripes that were there. The writing was not the best at times. Obviously, animations were weird. Those have been patched out, but I still recommend this game to a lot of people, especially now in the slow season and the game's discounted. Totally, go pick that up. The last special mention I wanted to give was For Honor. This was another really fun multiplayer game. People had their very reasonable gripes with it, but I had a lot of fun with this game, and I mainly just wanted to give a shout out to a company that's really hated on, like Ubisoft, for their sketchy motives. They did something fresh and interesting, and I really appreciate that, and I hope we get more experiences like that. So, my number one game of the year is actually...
Surprise! It's me. I'm interrupting Aaron for a second because we were going to do 2 separate videos about Game of the Year, but our list is the exact same with the exception of one very important game. So, I just wanted to take a little quick second and talk about my number one pick for Game of the Year, which is Night in the Woods. Night in the Woods is a little indie title that was released back in June, and it is incredible. I have never played a game that made me feel more than Night in the Woods. And I'm not talking sadness or happiness or anything like that. It's just, it triggers emotions. And it's not a loud, vast, expansive adventure. It's a very quiet trip into sometimes too real of territory. And it's an incredible experience, and if you have not played it, I'm not going to say anything about the story. Just go and experience it for yourself. It's great. It's my choice for Game of the Year. All right, and you're gonna back to Aaron now, I guess.
Prick. So, my number one game of the year is actually Wolfenstein 2. This was an incredibly hard decision for me to make because it came down to story versus gameplay, and obviously I've let it known that I am a gamer for story, and Wolfenstein 2 delivered in spades, actually. The New Order was a fun game for me. I think it was a great foundation for everything, but it was just the kickoff point. It was a little too long, I thought. The combat and the stealth weren't great, and mainly the story was just not really pulling me. But Wolfenstein 2 is so batshit crazy that it just demands for you to tag along and to experience something like this. You will constantly be uttering WTF at every moment, every cutscene, every expertly well done cutscene, and the cinematography here is AAA movie budget quality here, supremely crafted, and I would recommend getting this game just to experience the story one time. It's worth the full price of admission. I cannot recommend it enough. The story is bonkers and you will love it, and the twists and turns you will not see coming. The acting's fantastic, the graphics are beautiful. The gameplay, it's kind of lacking, but it's not going to stop you from having a good time. I highly recommend this game to anyone. My personal game of the year, Wolfenstein 2. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I love talking about games and my Game of the Year picks. Tell me your Game of the Year picks. I would love to hear them down below in the comments. Like, subscribe to the Geekery Collective. Please check out our recommendations, see what YouTube thinks you would like, and we will catch you guys again. Thank you.
There it is. Okay, cool, good. Okay, we're rolling, so go whenever.
Ready?
Yeah.